Hi, welcome. I'm Dr. Monique Andrews, and I am a neuroscientist and chiropractor. And I've been teaching about neuroscience, neuroregulation, and the mind-body continuum for the last 20 years. Thank you so much for joining me today as I teach you the top 5 ways to stimulate your vagus nerve. Now, some of you are probably wondering, why do we need to stimulate our vagus nerve? What even is the vagus nerve? And simply stated, your autonomic nervous system is divided into sympathetic and parasympathetic. That sympathetic division is really responsible for revving up the engine, right? For charging you into action. And the parasympathetic is responsible for allowing us to rest and to connect with others. Now, the vagus is probably the most important aspect of that parasympathetic nervous system. And the science today shows us that when you stimulate the vagus nerve, you actually improve your body's ability to adapt to its environment and heal. And studies have proven that stimulating the vagus nerve can reduce inflammation, it can lessen pain, it can lessen stress and anxiety, and even improve your overall immune system response. Now, we can also measure vagus nerve tone, and we do that by using something called heart rate variability. And heart rate variability has been around for a couple of decades, really, and it is accepted by science and conventional medicine as an objective measure of your overall health and well-being. Look, there is a lot to the story of the vagus nerve. I promise to keep this video short today. I'm going to be demonstrating these 5 simple and science-proven methods for you to stimulate your vagus nerve as an effective way to really change your body's physiology. And you can do this very simply at home without any devices or extra tools needed. So let's dig in. So the first method is simply breath work, and we call it the 4-7-8 breath. Now, breath has been used for really since the beginning of time to regulate our physiology. Take, for example, childbirth. What happens? How does the mom actually regulate and change her breath in order to lessen contraction and lessen that pain when giving birth? There are many, many different examples. Here's what we know, and that is that we can use our breath to change our physiology. And in fact, when we breathe in, that elevates that revving, charging up sympathetic nervous system. And that when we breathe out, we actually elevate the parasympathetic nervous system. And that specifically happens through stimulating the vagus nerve. When we exhale, when we breathe out, we stimulate the vagus. Now watch closely as I demonstrate this first technique. This is called the 4-7-8 breath. And in fact, a recent study showed that doing this just for 2 minutes engages the vagus nerve and increases your heart rate variability and creates a calming effect in the body. So it's very simple. You don't even have to do anything. You could be doing this laying down, standing in a line at a bank. You could be doing it anywhere, sitting in a class like this. It's very simple. And you're going to breathe slowly and deeply, okay? So what you're going to do is you're going to inhale for a count of 4. Then you're going to hold that for a count of 7. And then you're going to exhale for a count of 8. This is the tricky part because you're going to always want to be exhale for longer than you're inhaling. So you're exhaling for 8. Now, you can repeat this several times. You want to get it up to about 8 to 10 times when you're doing it. And some therapists recommend that you can hold your arms out to the side or hold your arms above your head when you're doing it. I love this. You don't have to do that, although it can help because it creates more traction on the vagus nerve. What I love about this exercise is you can do it anywhere at any time. Nobody ever needs to know that you're actually doing it. It's a few basic things to remember. You want to breathe very slowly. So maybe you're only doing 5 to 6 respiration cycles a minute. You're going to breathe deeply. So you're going to go right down into the belly and think about expanding your abdomen and your rib cage so that you're filling up the entire capacity of your abdomen and your chest when you breathe. And then finally, if you don't want to count, that's like I always get it. I have this to a place now where I just know that I always need to exhale longer than I inhale. So a brief inhale, increasing that sympathetic nervous system, and then you hold for a period of 7 seconds, and then you breathe out for a period of 8 seconds. And what that does is it has the effect of actually continuously stimulating your vagus nerve. And in fact, that holding your breath in the middle helps to maintain that traction on the vagus and create stimulation. This next exercise is referred to as the basic exercise, and you can do this again anywhere. You can do it laying down on your back. You can do it seated. You can do it standing up. Essentially what you're going to do is you're going to lie comfortably. You're going to interlace your fingers like this, and you're going to put them behind your head like that, okay? So your fingers are interlaced, and they're sort of behind the base of your skull and your upper cervical spine. And you just place them there, and you rest the weight of your head against it. And now, keeping your head in place, what you're going to do is you're going to look to the right, but only move your eyes. So you're not moving your head. You just look to the right, and you hold that. It might be for 30 seconds. It could be a minute. And what you're wanting to do is wait until you've initiated a sigh or a yawn, okay? And then once you've had a sigh or a yawn, then you look to the other direction. So now you're looking to the left, and you hold that position. Could be 30 seconds, could be a minute, and you wait until you have a sigh or a yawn. Now, how do you know what a sigh or a yawn is, right? Here's the thing. When you are normally inhaling, it's in, out. When you sigh or yawn, what happens is it's kind of like a second inhale. So you're breathing in, and then you yawn. Now, what happens to me is I've almost have this exercise to the point where all I have to do is think about it and I start yawning. So I'd love to hear how this one goes for you. Now, this next exercise is called polyvagal stretching. I don't have time to get into the whole polyvagal theory today, but if you are interested to know more, certainly you can check out another class that I have available called Nervous System Balm, and I'll give you details about that at the end of the video today. So here's what we do with polyvagal stretching. First of all, I'm going to take off my glasses. And basically, we're going to gently lay our hands, gently, and you want to use the pads of your fingers. You're not poking like this. You're going to gently lay your hands across these areas where we know that there are sensory branches of the vagus nerve. And so you place your hands, for example, you can start on the forehead with the fingertips, the hands, one's facing in one direction, one's facing in the other, and then you gently move your hands outward, right? So you're just gently stretching the skin. We're not trying to make a facelift or anything, or like create any trauma to the skin. It's just a gentle tug, right? We can do the same thing here. So we start with the forehead, and then we go down, and then we place your hands on your cheeks, okay, just up to your nose, and then you gently move outward to stretch the skin away from midline, okay? Very simple. The third position, you're gonna place your hands on your cheeks, just over the jaw, and then you're going to gently move them, sort of pulling back, pulling the skin again away from midline. And all of these are stimulating what's called the afferent branch of the vagus nerve. It sends sensory information back to your brain to stimulate the vagus nerve. And finally, the last one, this is where you place your hands basically over the heart area, just with the fingertips. And again, essentially what you're doing, I'm going to hold my hands up a little bit higher because you can see it in the video, is you're slowly pulling outward. And this is called polyvagal stretching. You can do this on yourself. You can even do it on others. Let's say you want to do it on your child or another family member. And actually, it's a very loving way to connect with one another. And as Stephen Porges in Polyvagal series says, that connection is a biological imperative. Technique number 4, and it might be my favorite. It's called befriending the heart. So I just reviewed with you the polyvagal stretching technique, and for befriending the heart, what you're going to do is you're going to put your hands in that last position over the heart area. So you're going to place your hands over the heart, and what you do here is you find the direction of ease. So you're not going to be pulling outward, but you're going to gently push up, maybe to the left, to the right. You might even try clockwise, counterclockwise. And when you're doing it, don't just think about where is the place of ease, but I want you to feel it in your body. Where does your heart have this greatest sense of safety? And might be surprised when you do this. You do actually feel, when you listen, right? Listen to that inner voice. Which of these directions actually makes me feel most calm? Which of these directions make me feel the safest? And then what you're going to do, once you find that direction, you're going to layer on top of that the very first technique that I showed you in the video, which is the 4-7/8 breath, right? So let's say, for example, that the direction of ease that you find is actually when pulling downward. You're then going to work through your inhalation for 4, hold for 7, and out for 8. And you can repeat that if you can get it up to doing it maybe for 2 minutes. I guarantee you're going to notice an overwhelming sense of calm and safety in your body. Please let me know how that one feels for you. So this is the fifth and final method in the video that I'm going to show you today. And it involves using something that's called neurotape, sometimes referred to as rock tape or kinesio tape. You can get this at a pharmacy. You can certainly get it online, of course. And I use this all the time, especially if I'm having trouble sleeping, because it's a very passive method. It's also great to use with people who couldn't do those other exercises themselves. Maybe babies or the elderly or anyone who might be cognitively or physically challenged. Anyone that they're prevented from doing these other exercises, this is a very passive and simple way, right? So you need to pick up some of this neurological tape. Again, you can find it in a pharmacy, you can find it online. You're going to cut about a 1-inch strip. Now you can get this in different colors. What you're going to do is you're just going to, and this tape comes with a little backing, you're going to peel off the tape, and then you are going to place it, go to on the side of your neck. This is where the vagus nerve is actually most close to the surface of the skin. And you're going to go just up under your earlobe. This is hard to do not in a mirror, but just up under your earlobe and then down your neck a little bit, just like that. You can see that, and then we would do that on both sides. And then you can just leave it there, right? Here's the great thing. Once you've applied the tape, the job is done. And again, I love this for sleep. I love it for using on pediatric patients, for our kids, for our elderly parents, or anyone who might be compromised to the extent that they couldn't do the other exercises themselves. If you want to dive deeper into this work, please check out my new workshop. It's called Nervous System Balm. Not bomb like blows up, but balm as in BALM. And I dive deeper into the theory and the advanced protocols for ways for you to reset your nervous system and change your life. And you can pre-order that video at nervoussystembalm.com, and you'll see that right in the subtitles below. Once again, thanks so much for joining me. I'd love to hear how these different exercises make a difference in your life. You can reach out to me anytime through my website, www.pranafound.org. And you'll see that down below in the subtitles. Thank you so much again for your time, and be well.